driver cracked his whip at the horses pulling the carriage as it raced up the drive to Brampton. Virginia was anxiously sitting in the back with Caroline. She could see smoke rising from the moors in the distance. The hot weather had caused an outbreak of wildfires, which were spreading rapidly. The carriage pulled up outside the castle, and both ladies hurried inside. He stopped. On the grand staircase, grasping a black cane, stood Dorothea, in front of the portrait of Gerard, a poignant backdrop. "Well, hello, Fidgy. Oh, and you brought your guard dog, I see," she glared at Caroline. "What's the matter? Aren't you happy to see your mother, Caroline?" she sneered. "You gave up the right to be my mother a long time ago," said Caroline. Dorothea chuckled to herself. "Where's Henry?" said Euphigenia. "Oh, it's rather nice being home. I have missed this house," she said, brushing over Fidgy's question. "But I have to say, I don't like what you've done with the place. Desks and chalkboards belong in a real school. This is a castle, an ancestral home of a mighty family. Lords and royalty have graced these walls, and you would let these hallowed floors be trampled upon by oiks and riffraff? Well, not any more." "You're not the lady of the house any more, Dorothea," said Euphigenia. "The asylum will come for you." "Let them," she snapped. "Those fools couldn't keep me locked up for much longer." "I've heard quite enough from you," said Euphigenia. "Now where is my son?" Dorothea began to walk slowly down the stairs towards Fidgy. "He's with his father." "What are you talking about?" said Euphigenia. "Gerard is dead." Dorothea laughed. "No, you fool. With his real father." Fidgy's eyes widened as she realized what she was talking about. "Look at you with those innocent eyes. But you're not so innocent behind them, are you? You're a little hussy, a common little girl who slept with that dimwit gardener. It's quite comical, really." "What have you done?" said Euphigenia. "Where's Bert?" Tears filling her eyes. "He's gone, and taken that little brat with him. You'll never see either of them again." "No!" cried Fidgy. She ran out of the hallway. Caroline turned to stop her. "Fidgy, wait!" But it was too late. She was gone. Fidgy burst into the stables and saddled up her grey mare with speed. She mounted up and raced off to find Bert. The air was thick with smoke, and the ground crackled with flames. Bert coughed as he tried to make his way through the cloud, clinging on to Henry. The fires had spread rapidly and caught him by surprise. He coughed and coughed as the thick smoke was filling his lungs and stinging his eyes. Henry began to cry. As the heat intensified, Bert dropped to his knees, clutching Henry to his chest. As he lay on the ground, he could hear horse hooves in the distance. A familiar voice was calling out to his name. A figure appeared to him. "Bert!" cried Euphigenia. "Get up!" "Miss Fidgy!" Euphigenia took Henry. "Get up, Bert! Get up!" she shouted. He staggered to his feet, and Fidgy aided him onto the horse. Clasping Henry, she mounted. The smoke was all around them now, like a wall of darkness. "Yeah!" She deed the horse, and it galloped blindly through the smoke. Dorothea briskly walked to the staircase as Caroline followed her. "You're a monster," said Caroline. "Oh, spare me," replied Dorothea. "Is there a single drop of love in your cold heart?" said Caroline. "I've done what I had to do to survive." "By killing the very people you love? Father, your husband, Gerard?" "Gerard was an accident, and he wouldn't have died if it wasn't for you. I should have had you put down." "Yes, you probably should," replied Caroline. "I hate you," said Dorothea. "No, you hate yourself," replied Caroline. Dorothea turned to look at her. She raised her cane to strike her, but Caroline grabbed it before she could. The two women tussled on the steps. "Let go, mother!" cried Caroline. "You're no daughter of mine!" screamed Dorothea. Suddenly she lost her footing and fell back against the banister and straight over it. Caroline ran over. Dorothea was gripping onto the banister, high above the floor below. "Give me your hand!" cried Caroline. Dorothea was gripping tightly to the wooden banister. Her hands were frail, and the weight of her own body was too much to bear. She looked at Caroline with a panic on her face, then dropped down to the stone floor below. As she hit the hard surface, her neck snapped and she was dead. Caroline sank onto the floor and screamed. The horse's legs ran as fast as they could. Fidgy was riding with one hand as the other cradled Henry. They were out of the smoke now, and Brampton was in the near distance. Bert, still struggling to breathe from the smoke, slumped forward and fell off onto the grass. Fidgy stopped the horse and got off, rushing to his side. "Bert!" she cried. He was coughing and gasping for air. "Miss Fidgy, I'm sorry. I thought they were going to hang you." "It's okay, Bert," she replied. "Try not to speak." "Henry okay?" "Yes, he's fine. Look." She held up the baby so he could see him. "Oh, good. You look after him now, miss." "No, we can look after him, Bert. We can be a family. We can be happy." Bert's breathing was slowing and his face getting paler. "Miss Fidgy, I love you," he said, with every ounce of strength he had left. "I love you too, Bert." Tears were streaming from her eyes. She clasped his hand, and their eyes locked for one last time. He took one final breath, and he was gone. Fidgy wailed and laid on his chest, crying until there were no more tears left. The snow was falling gently, dusting the bare trees of the garden. In a quiet corner, Iphigenia was walking carrying Henry, holding a Christmas holly wreath. They stopped at a gravestone with the words Albert Williams, 1828 to 1863 engraved on the front. Iphigenia laid the wreath on it and took a moment to pause. Suddenly Winshaft appeared. "Sorry to bother you, milady. Professor Arkwright was wondering if you'd like to come and say goodbye to the boys before they leave for their Christmas break." Iphigenia smiled. "Yes, of course, Winshaft. I'll be there as soon as possible." "Very good, milady." As he went away, she turned to the gravestone and looked at Henry. "Well, come on, Henry. Things to be done." And with that, she walked back to Brampton.